Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 7 Japanese cruiser Myoko. It has 10 main guns, 8 secondary guns, 62 AA guns, 12 torpedoes, a top speed of 35.6 knots, total health 39,200. Modules used: reduce crit chance on main battery, increase AA range, reduce flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift, and for my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower chance for fire, lower cooldown on damage control, and advanced firing training. We are on the map Fault Line. I spawned in on the east side and I headed for C. Now, I'm engaged with a Murmansk. An enemy Atlanta is also in the area, and we're taking torpedoes, so there's probably an enemy destroyer, and my friendly destroyer decides to take a hard right smacking into my ship. He sends out torpedoes. I slow down, trying to give him a chance to break off me. I believe he was interested in dropping torpedoes more than paying attention that I was right next to him. I don't know if you could possibly miss me any worse, but you know what? He apologized. I'm cool with that. That enemy destroyer has popped smoke, and it looks like he's moving out of the area. So this Atlanta backing up, not a good idea. We've got AP loaded. Atlanta doesn't have a lot of armor, and we're just gonna unload on the Atlanta. We only have access to the front guns because we don't want to crowd out our friendlies. We do lose a friendly cruiser, and the enemy destroyer sends out torpedoes, and I just don't do a good job of maneuvering. I was going to go right at the torpedo, but I can't now, and I take one smack on the nose. Have to use damage control. Friendlies kill off that enemy Atlanta. There's still an enemy cruiser and a destroyer in the area. They do not spot me. You do not see situational awareness. So, we still have AP loaded. And we see that the Murmansk is trying to make a break for the open ocean. But you're not gonna escape, my friend. And we get a Citadel penetration. 8 shots land. Just barely alive. Come on, reload so we can finish him off. There's no way you're getting away. And goodbye, Murmansk. Now, the enemy destroyer does not spot us because we do not see situational awareness. So where could he have been? He couldn't have gone that far and detected he was around the island. He's on our port side. Secondaries are engaged. We have HE loaded, and we do pretty good damage. We destroy one of his turrets and knock propulsion out. He has to use damage control, and he's a little sluggish after propulsion being knocked out, so we try and lead him a little bit more than he probably should have. The torpedoes he sent out are going to force us to have to maneuver away, and he's moved out of range of detection. He didn't fire his guns, so he's completely gone, and we land a blind shot. We incapacitate something, and we set him on fire, which he will not be able to put out for another 20 seconds or so. We completely miss with that first set. Hopefully we can land our second set, and yeah, we get the second kill. So, friendly Mutsuki, Atlanta, and Myoko survive, and are going to push towards the enemy. Something is capturing B, probably a destroyer, because the friendly battleship does not see the ship. And there's an enemy cruiser that's also headed into B, so we need to be careful. It is in Atlanta. Atlanta has awful range, but when it can engage a target in range, it will decimate them, especially battleships, because battleships are slow and large. So we're just going to try and intercept the enemy Atlanta, possibly the enemy destroyer, whatever we see for B. We have A, but the entire enemy team went to A, so we're probably going to lose control over it. We just lost a friendly destroyer that was at A. Nothing is preventing the enemy from capturing A. The friendly carrier is using their fighters to take out the enemy as best as he can, but it's just not working out for us. So I'm assuming A is gone, and I need to do my best to eliminate the enemies at B, so we don't lose control in this game. It's still a very close game. The Atlanta's half held, which is nice. And it's a Colorado, a Tier 7 US battleship. So the Colorado should fare pretty well against the Atlanta, especially with backup coming. Now, in this game, it was a little crazy at the start. We engage 3 enemies, destroy them, only lose 1 at sea, and then we don't see anything for 2 or 3 minutes because we're just traveling. A lot of times I find in these games, the most important thing you need to do is play the objective, because the enemy will be trying to gain control of the game. And nobody wanted B, so they captured B. We're going to try and eliminate these guys clearly and recapture B. Then the enemy has to come to us. Now this Atlanta is broadside with us, but it is a plunging fire shot, and the Atlanta is just barely larger than a destroyer. So it's going to be hard to hit plunging fire on the decks, so I stick with HE. If it was something larger, like say a Pensacola, or a Cleveland, or a Baltimore, I would be more inclined to fire AP, but there's just not a lot of deck space. There's just a ton of modules. And in the Atlanta, that's all you ever lose. You lose all your guns all the time. You might as well not have half your guns, because you're going to lose most of them before the game's over. So the Isokaze shows up. Don't know why there's an Isokaze in a Tier 7 game. Someone failed their platoon. But we're going to go after him anyway. Now he disappeared. I am not close enough to detect him. It looked like a friendly battleship was the detector, and the island is screening. But we move in range of the Isokaze. He doesn't escape as fast as he needs to, and we send out only 4 rounds, and we only need 4. We're able to destroy what is left of the Isokaze. And now we have to take out this Atlanta, because he is trying his best to get over to the friendly carrier. We need to keep the carrier in game. The carrier is our most overpowered ship in comparison to the enemy, who doesn't have any aircraft carrier. Their spotting alone gives us a huge advantage to see the enemy movements and react. Now, as I just come in range to see the Atlanta, I notice the torpedoes look like they're headed straight for him, and we are unable to do significant amount of damage, and now we have to commit going through this gap, unfortunately. If the torpedoes didn't succeed or he survived, we would play an important role in keeping the carrier up. But since the carrier did destroy the Atlanta, we are really just wasting our time trying to maneuver through this. And it looks like a friendly cruiser wants to follow me for some reason. I understand sticking with someone that you feel can give you a chance at success, but there ain't no reason for me to be here, my friend. And I'm going to try everything I can to get back to B. Now we have an enemy Warspite and a Myoko harassing the friendly New York, who is trying to run away as slow as they can. Remember, 21.4 knots, I believe, on the New York. Just awful speed. The Warspite and the Myoko are way faster. Way faster, like 3 or 4 knots. But they're way faster. They'll catch up to that New York. He's going to have to just do the best he can, because there are 2 Pensacola's. I'm Tier 7. I need to answer their power. I cannot allow the Pensacola's to devastate my friends at B. We would basically lose control of this game. It's still really close. The Pensacola's are almost half health, so we do have that going for us. But we've got 2 Wyomings too at A, and it looks like they want to move into B2. So we're going to have 4 ships in range of our ship, but we have to do this. We have to try and save the Wyoming. If I can keep the Wyoming up, I will have a much better chance at surviving this game and destroying the enemy. We do have more points than the enemy, but we're going to probably lose that Wyoming as much as I want to keep it alive. And that New York was getting harassed a ton. That is 180 point swing. Actually, it's a 360 point swing, because we lose the points and they gain them. So they can easily be in the lead in a minute or 2. So everything I can to get in range of this Pensacola. And he's just at maximum range. I'm taking fire from the enemy Wyomings, but I'm angled pretty well, and they're firing AP, so they're ineffective. Now, just when I feel like I'm comfortable to fire broadside, the enemy Pensacola disappears. It would be fantastic if the friendly carrier would send that fighter squadron up just a little bit more north so I could see him. And initially I was like, okay, it looks like he wants to go through that gap. Just confirming, looks like the destroyer is trying their best to take out the enemy battleships. And yeah, he's committed. He's definitely going through that gap. That's what we're saying to ourselves. We got HE loaded, we're going to do a lot of damage to him, and he's indecisive. He's moving away now. He's playing a lot like me. I want to go this way. No, I want to go that way. And he maneuvers outside of the shot. Only does 1,000 points of damage. And our friendly is dead. We need to kill the Pensacola before his friend shows up and makes it a 2v1. And we land pretty good shots. One good salvo and he's dead. We try and lead him as best as we can around the island. This should be good if he doesn't change his heading. And, oh, just barely. We incapacitate something. I don't care about that. I want the kill. And he's firing again, but he only has one set on us. And we get two really nice shots. He, like, turned into them. So now we have this enemy Pensacola. Seems like he wants to engage someone else. So he's angled rather well. AP would be ineffective at this angling, so we're going to stick with HE for now. But we can continue to maneuver and get a better angle on him. We have an island north of us that we need to make sure that we don't hit. And he is just playing that angle game. He's slowing down, speeding up, just enough that it's a little awkward. We're not landing as many shots as we need to. But now he's given up too much. And we switch to AP once we let off this next salvo. Oh, this would be beautiful if this was AP. And he's still showing really nice. We do set him on fire, which is convenient. He will have to use damage control, or he's going to burn for a while. He switches to us. But we have all guns to bear, AP loaded, and we knock him out. 13,000 points of damage, and we prevent him from capturing B. Now, we don't want AP against these battleships. No, no, no. They're too far away. So we got HE loaded. We ran aground, unfortunately, trying to get all guns on target. It's worth it if you can knock out an enemy like that.
Problem solved, sir.
Couple Wyomings and a Warspite. Just battleships everywhere. And initially, I was just going to back up and I was going to move forward, but I was like, that Warspite wants to go after us. We're just going to back up and use this island as cover from the Warspite. And the game ends, of course. So, that was the game in the Myoko on Fault Line. 5 kills, a large variety of kill types, Citadel penetrations, fire burns, and HE shells. It was pretty enjoyable to wipe out C, wipe out B, and win the game. We did something around 60k damage between AP and HE. I hope you enjoyed that game. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.